couldn't attend for some reason.
Ah, there we go. We all heard the recording in progress, and now
Yep.
now we're legal. Okay, everyone hit the got it button right there. What did we do before Zoom? I don't know. We could ask the question, what did we do before email? I don't know. Now here we are, 2023. So again, as people are continuing to pop in, again, I'm Ricky Telg, the president this year. Again, so glad to see so many faces and names there that I can see kind of on my screen here. And we're just going to move forward because we have a limited time today to talk about our ACE member survey and some listening session results. Before we do that, I just have a couple of real quick announcements. As we move forward, please don't forget that CNA deadline is creeping up like in less than 3 weeks. It's February the 15th. So if you go to the website there, you'll learn more about that. And if Toby has any, if you have any questions about that today, Toby's here. So I'm going to pass them off to Toby to answer those. And of course, we have the ACE conference coming up June 11th through the 13th in Asheville. I hope everyone can attend. The research paper submission deadline for that is coming up this Friday. The session presentations will be released very soon. The conference planning committee has worked very hard on that, and so you'll be hearing from that about that call from earlier this year, probably the next week or two, and then registration will be available in the next several weeks. So please go to the website there at aceweb.org/2023 conference. All right, with that, we're going to get started. And so really today we're going to look at why this came about and what we tried to do. So the ACE board has initiated a strategic initiatives to help guide ACE over the next several years. We'll look at some of those specifically in just a few minutes. But to be able to do this, we wanted to hear from you. We wanted to get some information from our membership. So we conducted a membership survey and 4 listening sessions by Zoom in October. I think it was the first time that we'd done a membership survey that looked at everything related to our membership. I think we'd done some things related to the conferences and things along those lines previously, but it's been 2018 or 2019 since we did a comprehensive look at us as ACE members. And so we looked at demographic information related to how long we've been ACE members, ACE members' membership experiences, looking specifically at what really motivated someone to become a member in the first place and what keeps someone to be a member. Related to that, special events, as well as the association management company, which is Celtic Associations that manages ACE. So we try to be as comprehensive as we possibly can or could in our membership survey. And so we'll look at that as well as the listening sessions that were conducted. We did 4 listening sessions looking specifically at these 4 topics. One was on outreach strategies. Also, we're calling that membership recruitment, membership growth and development, which is another good name for professional development, business development and partnerships, looking at financial growth and how to work with other organizations who may be as like-minded to us in ACE. And then finally, organizational operations. So each one of those listening sessions was targeted to those specific questions. And we'll look at some of those results again before we're finished here over the next hour. So again, a lot of things to talk about. So again, for the first demographic question you might be interested in, we had a total of 54 respondents, which I thought was really great. And as you can see there, that was the list of who responded by years as an ACE member. So we had 18 who had been a member less than a year to 3 years, 18 for those, 7 to 10 were 10. So as you can see there, we had a very broad capacity that we saw for respondents overall, but I was very encouraged that those who were fairly new members that responded in such large numbers to share their views about their experiences early on as ACE members. We asked the question, how did you initially learn about ACE and become an ACE member? And this really gets at the heart of a lot of what I'll be talking about today as far as that personal touch. So if you may be able to see there on that graph, it says, someone told me about ACE and invited me to join. And that small little piece there, which is actually 4 members, 51 members said that someone told me about ACE and invited me to join, and only were those that found about ACE on their own and joined. We also asked kind of to add a little bit to that for those who said that they found out about it on their own, to find out where they found out about it. And of those 4, really 3 were more of a personal touch, that someone maybe have forwarded information to them. So I kind of consider that to be maybe not an invitation, but they told them about ACE. Only 1 person became a member just because the person had visited the website. So again, if you look at it that way, probably 53 out of 54 of those respondents, there was some personal touch there that encouraged them to become an ACE member. So why did you initially become an ACE member? And people could choose more than one answer. As you can see there, the 3 that were in yellow were the ones with the highest numbers. To work with other professionals in agriculture, natural resources, and life and human sciences, to be provided with professional development opportunities in the field, also to attend ACE conferences. And so these were the responses that they could have answered. Provided professional development opportunities, again, was the most responses. Participating in the Critique and Awards program, participating in learning communities, holding leadership positions, and other, as you can see, were farther down the list. So then we ask, why are you still an ACE member? And so here are some, I think, very important reasons. So these are the responses that were important or very important. Professional development opportunities, networking, and attending ACE conferences, as you see there, is by far the major reasons why people are still ACE members. We asked people to answer, how did they like to communicate with other members in their learning communities? And so what you see here are the percentages for those who responded prefers a lot to very preferred. Email listservs came out as the top response, 66%. Microsoft Teams, 23%. The forums that we currently use, 15%. And we included Slack channels in there too, where some groups were using Slack. We did not ask other things that have since been brought out, such as using LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. But for those that were asked there, as you can see, by far it was email listservs. And we'll come back to this a little later on as well, about communicating among ourselves as members. Reasons to attend ACE conferences. This was in the rank order there. The top 3 there in bold, as you can see, were to provide professional development opportunities, to network, to learn from dynamic keynote speakers. And then after that, it really was a lot less. Presenting at the conference, the desirable location of the conference, receiving an award, and participating in academic sessions were much further down the list there. We gave people a lot of opportunities to provide open-ended responses, and this is what you're seeing here are those just from the survey itself. And so I tried to categorize what I saw, and there were pages. And so again, part of the reason why we're having this meeting here today is to say we heard you. We read what you said. We heard what you wanted to provide to us in terms of impact and input. So to me, probably the most comprehensive comments that I can say are those 2 words: personal touch. About the reason why you became an ACE member, why we're continuing to be an ACE member, and all the other aspects there is that personal contact. Get people to join and to stay, and I put there in quotes, to stay joined. And many people said we need to focus less as an organization on developing expensive print materials, but what we really need to focus on is how do we stay that personal touch with each other. Others said getting involved can be difficult. For those who have been members for a while, they felt that sometimes it could be seen as cliquish. Onboarding new members was also, I consider, to be a theme with the survey results. Several people said they didn't know how to get integrated into learning communities, and they didn't know all about what ACE had to offer until later on in their membership, sometimes 2 or 3 years later. And again, we're going to talk about how some of the responses that you provided to us are helping us guide what we're going to be trying to do over the next year or so. Related a few more open-ended responses. If I can click on here, some individuals said that ACE is too land-grant university focused, that we're not including federal agencies, that will focus on agriculture, natural resources, and human and life sciences, that we need to kind of break out of our land-grant university mold to some degree. Many people commented, and we saw already one of the responses about the communication channels, that they need to be reviewed or improved. We use forums, we use email or something else. Website to continue to improve the look, including more photos and different content. And we did ask a question about members' interactions and views about Celtic. And for the most part, most members didn't know what Celtic was or didn't have enough information to have an opinion about the organization that manages ACE right now, its performance. Continuing on with open-ended responses to the survey, many people said we need to lengthen the conference time frame, provide more networking opportunities during the conference, for critique and award, to continue to enhance judges' feedback. Some individuals said we need to just drop the critiques and just go with point system or something along those lines. Again, I'm just sharing with back what we heard from people. And then for non-conference activities, a lot of people mentioned that they were so excited, and this was well received, about the coffee chats and the happy hours that we've been conducting virtually via Zoom. They were very impressed with the webinar topics overall. And even though Level Up, our mid-year conference that we had via Zoom in November of 2022, had not been delivered at the time that the survey went out in October, members did appreciate the effort that ACE was putting forward to get a non-conference timeframe for a major professional development opportunity. The listening sessions, as I said before, were divided into 5 specific topic areas. And so what you see here are the major themes or topics or questions. It's kind of hard to categorize those into the topics or the themes for the outreach strategy listening session. And I'll just read these very quickly. Some of them you've already heard from already in the survey results. And we did have between 4 and 11 or so members on each of the listening sessions. So that, again, I thought they were very well attended. The need for a personal touch in how we reach out to potential members. Looking at it, asking the question, who's ACE's competition? That came out in the listening session. And even if people are joining anything with the COVID and pandemic, are members even joining any organization at all? We looked at potential audiences were discussed. Is ACE the place for students, specifically graduate students? Paying for membership, the increase in membership dues, ways to potentially have membership categories that would encourage more people to join. And then even the question is, what is ACE's value to us individually as members? In the topic area of membership growth and development, the themes that came out were communication methods, again, looking at forums or email or something along those lines. How can we be better equipped to communicate among ourselves as ACE members? Some mentioned those specifically who are maybe longtime members, that when we had regional meetings, that maybe ACE should consider going back to some type of geographic region representation. And along those lines, also about having a geographic region representation for where we have conferences. So would it be on the East and in the Midwest or out in the West? So looking at how we can be better positioned literally geographically as an organization. Asking the question, what is it that ACE members truly do want? Do new members, what do we do with new members who don't come from an agriculture or an extension background? How do we equip them with the knowledge that they may be lacking in these areas to be able to communicate specifically about agriculture and about extensions efforts, not only in their own state, but also regionally and nationally? And how are we doing with onboarding new members? One of the survey results, as you saw, was me as a new member, I may not be able to understand all of what ACE is and how do I get involved? So that question and some ideas about how to do a more enhanced job of onboarding members came out in that listening session. In the business development and partnership listening session, the themes there were looking at and identifying potential partners for ACE. Could be other organizations or agencies, maybe even private industry. And then the question came up, well, so what is it in this partnership or potential partnership? What's in it for ACE? And what's in it for the potential partner or sponsors? How can we be more strategic in the business development and partnerships that we try to initiate? Also incorporating ACE conference and other programming opportunities as ways to encourage participation for partnerships and for sponsors. Topic that had come up is registration tied to membership dues for non-member registrants. Is there a way for them to become a member based on paying a non-membership fee at the conference, which really is the registration rate plus the regular membership dues. So that is something that we've been looking at as well, possibly selling ads to generate more revenue, and also not just how to add more financial foundation to us as an organization, but how can we look at places where we can cut costs, was also brought up in this listening session. Under the umbrella of organizational operations, again, the need for a personal touch in what we do as an organization, in the emails that we send out, the webinars that we have, the coffee chats and happy hours, understanding that even though we are broadly separated across the country, that we need to have an identity of personal touch and networking. The communication products that are produced, the websites, the print materials, that they all have a professional look to them. Still questions as an organization about how we communicate among ourselves, again, with the forums. And as I said, we'll talk more about some of the takeaways there. Are we a niche organization or diverse or both? Is it really just focused on agriculture, natural resources, and life sciences? Is it something that could be more broadly focused, or are we a little bit of both of those areas? Overall, people's views over Celtic were fairly positive, but for the most part, people were not sure what Celtic was doing in ways that we need to communicate what they do behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, like at the conference, need to be better explained. And one that is one of my passions is how do we develop leaders? Developing leaders came up time and time again in this listening session about the need for us to identify those up and coming individuals, but then also to invest in them for them to be able to be better equipped to become the leaders. When many of us right now on this call who've been members, 15, 20, 30 years, when we're retired and gone, we need to be able to develop those leaders to take our place. So overall takeaways, and then we'll look at how we're, as an ACE board, are trying to address some of these overall topics and comments. First one I would say takeaway is we as an organization, we can't forget the personal touch. As I said, 54 of the survey respondents, 50 said that they learned about ACE from a person who invited them to join. And as I said before, of the 4, 3 mentioned at least indirectly some type of personal touch as the reason that they joined ACE initially. And then to stay involved in ACE, again, was that idea of a personal touch. So we as an organization, even though we want to try to reach out and to new audiences, new potential organizations, as president, I think we as an organization need to, again, encourage ourselves as members, as an organization, not to miss and not to forget that personal touch. Onboarding new members. We, again, saw that many new members said that they didn't have enough information about ACE early on in their membership, and how that they could become more involved in learning communities and how to connect with others. We'll get to this as well. And as you saw in that one graphic, members don't like the forums, at least how they were currently operating, whether that is the technology, whether that's that they don't understand how to use the forums, Most people said that they would prefer some type of email listserv or an easier way to get signed up potentially for forums, and then how to use them. So again, another takeaway message. This is really more of a question about what do ACE members really want. I kind of put this into 3 bullet points about why they said that they were members and stayed members in this order: to be provided professional development opportunities, to network with people who are, and this came out several times, who are like me in their professional field, and to attend ACE conferences. And if these are the 3 primary reasons, although there were several other reasons, of course, then we as an organization truly need to focus efforts to make sure that our members are receiving the true benefit and need that they see from our organization overall. The next one, again, is another question: who are potential ACE members? And this I found to be rather telling, that many members said that we should focus recruitment efforts on non-members in our own extension, communication, experiment station, communication, and related communication units internally at our universities, in our agencies, at the same time as we're trying to identify broader opportunities for outside companies and organizations. This came out again several times when members said, you know, we've got people here in our own universities who aren't ACE members. We need to really focus our attention, this personal touch, on them. Not to say that we shouldn't be looking at potential new audiences and organizations and agencies and private organizations, but let's not lose focus on what some people said was kind of that low-hanging fruit. Let's tell people the good story about ACE here within our own institutions locally. The last couple of takeaways before we get into some of the actions that are being done. Again, we want to make a good impression, good first impression, with professional looking communication products. Several members said that our organization must strive to provide professional looking communication products, from our website to emails and to printed materials, to attract and to keep members. Some people said, especially those who don't know about ACE, maybe looking for the first time, that our website or our emails, that may be the first impression that they have. And if they see something that may not look professional, that may be it. Because as we all know, you cannot go back and make a second good first impression. It's that first impression that really does matter. And then finally, as I said, kind of one of my passions there is developing leaders. Members who we see, who we identify as future leaders, and encouraging people to take those leadership roles and to equip and to empower them to lead. So those were the takeaways that I saw from the survey, and the listening sessions. So what does this mean, and what are we trying to do with those? And I'll open it up for questions as well. Well, first of all, again, as I see this, I think the overarching idea was the need for a personal touch. And so in the last several weeks and months, actually, the ACE board and committees and learning communities, I think, are really taking an effort to address and to make sure that we're not forgetting the personal touch. Several individuals are working to create new member orientation materials that we can then use to tell our new members how to get more involved. To have an effort at our conference coming up to encourage our new member registrants about what it is to become an ACE member and how to network. We're also working to contact members directly. Yes, we have been doing that when people become a new member, but really following up on that and with emails, in some cases phone calls, and just really trying to encourage people to stay connected. And this is not something just for ACE. I mean, if you've been in an organization, whether it's religious or private or nonprofit or whatever, is that getting that initial contact and then that follow-up is important for you to want to stay a member of that organization. We're going to try to work more on that over this next year or two as well. The idea of having ACE ambassadors came out again in some of our sessions, so we're working on that too. And I think this will be one of the topics that you might see in the upcoming ACE Edge newsletter. Trying to encourage some of our, I'll say it, vintage members who would like to be an ambassador for ACE and try to connect those vintage seasoned members with some of our newer members to ask questions about what it is that encouraged them to be an ACE member in the first place, and getting people connected again with the idea of that personal touch. Continuing on with our coffee chats and happy hours, that was seen as a positive experience.
The computer's not turning on.
And the idea of a website to encourage more of a personal approach. Some of our retirees and past presidents are working diligently on creating a history of ACE component to our website. To me, that's a great effort place for personal touch there, and even having more personal touch type content in our website materials. We're also looking at reviewing and improving our guiding, what I call our guiding documents. The board has just gone through a review of our Constitution, our policies and procedures manual, our learning communities handbook, and even including what I call an annual event timeline. So the LC handbook, I credit Stacy Stearns, who's the LC chair this year, has done a tremendous job to have what was already a really great document that she was handed as new LC chair, and then working on it to update the material, and has just released that to the LC chairs within the past month. You'll be seeing some potential amendments to the Constitution for us to consider probably within the next month or so. Again, as a way to enhance what we're doing as an organization, and then the policies and procedures manual are what we do as a board, as an organization. And again, we've been looking at those to try to improve those to help us to be better, effective, and more efficient as an organization. This is an ongoing review. Actually, we had a small, what I call a task force, for lack of a better term, looking at communication channels, forums, email options, even to email listservs. And so we're in the process of doing that right now, and I hope to have a plan in place for us to use by the ACE conference in June. As this was happening, the Level Up conference took place in November, which I thought was a great new effort by ACE, and I want to thank all those who are on the steering committee for that, as we look to what this could look like in 2023. The ACE conference planning committee is working diligently to add more connection time to the 2023 conference. We'll still have about the same amount of time as far as the number of days, but we're looking to expand as much as we can time at the beginning of the conference to kind of give us a little bit more workshop time, as well as times that we can connect and network. And I really do appreciate the effort that this group is putting together to help us be more capable of networking among ourselves as members. And then finally, the marketing and branding committee is reviewing the ACE website even as we speak, and we'll be making recommendations to enhance the look of that in the next several weeks as well. So what we've tried to do really as a board and as committees and LC leaders is to take what you as ACE members have shared with us, your likes, your dislikes, the things that you said we're doing well with, things that can be improved upon, and really try to address those needs, those concerns, those attaboys, pats on the back, the ways we can improve those. And I really just want to open it up for questions and comments that you might have, or anything that you saw that you wanted to ask about, any ideas that you might have on ways that we can enhance the organization, things that we may not have thought about as well. So again, the floor is open. This is really, as I said, kind of a town hall, and at all town halls, someone says something and then we open it up. So I see Chris, I see your hand up first. And you can do the virtual hand, you can raise your hand, and John, I see you next. So Chris first and then John.
Yeah, thanks, Ricky. I appreciate it. I jotted down a few notes. I want to open with a question, and I did look at the ACE website about memberships. It doesn't appear to, there's no longer that first year discount. I remember when I joined ACE, there was a first year discount and that has gone away. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That has not been a membership level, if you want to call it that, for quite some time. I don't remember when that was.
Well, I joined ACE in 2017. So when I joined, the first year I joined ACE, it was $60.
Right.
And so now it's basically, it's 160, depending, but basically there is no first year discount. I think that's quite a hindrance to approaching people outside of ACE. They're gonna, I mean, I was a little, number one, my institution didn't pay for that. Now we have an institutional memberships. Number two, that was quite high. Well, we've raised our memberships. So as most of us in the meeting know, I think it was 120, now it's 160.
Mhm.
That, I mean, that could be a barrier for people. You basically say, hey, join our organization, which does lead to a second comment about the website. So they're going to go, oh, okay, let me check out the website. Let me see what the ACE is all about. And the website's terrible. And so they're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm paying $160 and I can't find stuff. I can't really, there's not a lot of value there. Especially again, I've approached people at our institution outside of our office, and the first thing they get is the membership is a lot, and then they go to the website and they basically say, you're a communications organization and your website's not very good. The second thing I wanted to mention was about I was really pleased to see the high percentage of people in terms of what do ACE members want to be the 70% to be provided professional development opportunities, which I was probably in that 70%. But as we've experienced over the last 3 years, I mean, attendance, in my view, attendance at webinars and coffee chats is way down, way down. And also this town hall, we've got 24 people on this. We've got a membership of how many? Almost 400 members in ACE. So it's a very small amount of people who are attending this town hall, very small amount of people who actually attend the webinars and the coffee chats. Maybe they're just not getting the topics they want, but I find that to be a sort of like 70% of people say, I really like the professional development opportunities, but then they don't attend. They don't attend the webinars or coffee chats. And I guess the only other opportunity is the ACE conference. And of course, you talked about the length of the conference. It should be lengthened next year. There's no reason to have a conference. It's a day and a half. So anyway, those are my opinions, which I always share.
Sure. No, I appreciate that, Chris. As I said, the marketing and branding committee is looking at specifically the website. I have an email from a subgroup there about ways we could improve the website look. We're also potentially looking at a new theme or template for what we have. We're kind of limited with what the platform is that we're using right now, which is Wild Apricot. So we're looking at ways to encourage the look as well as the content of the website. So again, this subcommittee has provided, which I think is some great ideas, including navigation, putting things on the website that makes probably more sense for us as an organization, as members too. So we hear you, and so again, not everything can take place immediately. So we're going to try to prioritize what we can do between now and the conference time, as well as what we would need to do over the next year or so. So we're hopeful that people in your office who may have said that the website's terrible will come back once we get a new look to our website and more content. It was like, hey, this looks really good. As far as the first year discount, we can look at that as well. And then your comment about professional development opportunities and webinars, I've seen that across the board, not just with ACE, but many of the other organizations that I'm members of.
Hello.
I think that people have maybe
I'm fine. I'm right in the middle of a Zoom meeting. I can't call.
But people have maybe it's because we've been zoomed out. I don't know, but a lot of people who initially were part of the the webinar scene maybe it's because it's familiarity to the idea of doing this that, or like you said, it may be a matter of the topics that are being presented. So that if that's the case, then maybe we'll need to look at having some type of idea generation that try to get some webinar content that is more reflective of what we need as an organization. So I'm taking notes as we go along. So thank you, Chris, for your comments. I'm going to go with John, and then I see Courtney Meyer's hand up next after that. So John, go ahead. You're muted, John. John, you're muted. John, you're muted.
Okay, here you go.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm one of those ancients. So I've been around for a number of years, and I haven't been really affiliated with any land grant or other university for at least almost 10 years now. But anyway, I just heard you comment as part of the session about the, I believe it was the conference, and how you might introduce new members to opportunities. I didn't hear you say specifically, and it seems to me like that's a wonderful opportunity to say. And here, in addition, are some leadership opportunities that you might want to consider going forward as you develop and become a more lengthy member. That's my only comment, really.
Yeah, no, that's a great comment. So we do have individuals who will be leading a first-time attendee new member session reception on Sunday of the conference, and I think that's a great idea of introducing them not only to the organization, but also how new members can become leaders in the organization. So I think that'll be something that I will add to this as well, that we definitely want to make sure we don't miss. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Courtney.
Hi there, and Ricky, thanks for having this session. My question, I didn't hear the Journal of Applied Communications mentioned, and so I wondered if that came up as a value point, or if any discussion has been made about the future of JAC within the ACE organization.
I mean, as far as that being to me, I think the Journal of Applied Communication is one of the key components of what we do as an organization. To me, when that didn't come up as an overall issue or topic, to me, that's a positive too, that people didn't see that as a negative. That ACE is truly behind the publication, trying to make sure that we have an editor and an executive editor. I will say this, that I didn't share with the individuals here, we also asked a question about which learning community or communities you're a member of. The one that responded the least, the lowest number, was those in the academic and research learning community. So that could have also been part of the reason why, responses specifically about the Journal of Applied Communication, also the research component with the ACE conference could have been a little bit lower. But I do think that I know that ACE board and ACE's organization is truly behind and supportive of what is published and presented through the Journal of Applied Communication, and also the research session. I mean, we're setting aside a full day of the meeting room space so that folks who want to present their research can do so as part of the ACE. So I don't see that as a separate component. It's very much an integral part of what the organization is.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Courtney. Other questions or comments? I'm seeing some things in the chat. So Ruth mentioned that we had 100 participants in the first level up, which I think is amazing in a great way to have that out there, and the work that went into that for the 2-day conference. Anne mentioned that she would like to see trying a first-year discount again. So again, writing all this information down, these ideas. Any other ideas or comments that we can take back to try to integrate? Doug, I see your hand up.
Yeah, just a quick comment, Ricky, with the fall mini conference. I had as some people know, I'm no longer in ag communications. I'm still at university communications, but I had a team member who attended the mini conference, and she was really, really complimentary of it and thought it was really good. So I think that's a really good opportunity to get some people who maybe in other fields to attend and get some really good communications, professional development.
Great, thank
I'll
you.
give you know, the thumbs up from my team member who attended. She was really happy with it.
I will pass on the accolades. I was not involved as but tangentially to that, but I definitely know those who were, and several of them are on this call today. And I don't want to point out people individually because I will miss people. But again, my sincere appreciation to all those who put that together. That was pulled together in a wonderful way in a very short time frame. And so we've already decided that we're going to do this again. Not sure when exactly. It'll be sometime mid-year in the 2023, and there's already a steering committee looking at what that could look like. So we're hopeful that this will be an annual activity event to not only potentially bring new members, as you mentioned before, Doug, but also as another way of professional development and networking among ourselves as members. Chris, I see your hand up again.
Yeah, thanks. Another question about memberships. So are the memberships still on the calendar year? So like if you,
No.
okay, they are from the time you joined? Okay.
Yes, your anniversary date is when your renewal date. For those who are longtime members, our date of membership was usually the end of December, 1st of January. So if you were to join, let's say, middle of July, that is when the next July your membership renewal will be. So
Okay, good.
Yep. No, good
Yeah,
question.
the last couple of years, my boss has actually been paying for our members. So I wasn't sure how all that was working. So
No,
good,
I will
good to
say,
hear, because I was gonna say that would be a hindrance for people to ask them to sign up and say, well, you should probably wait till January.
yeah, no. Tell them now. Now is the time. Don't delay. Call today or whatever.
Well,
But,
I was talking
yeah.
about people like later in the year.
Okay, yeah. But for a lot of us, I will be honest, probably December, January, that's where the bulk of us as vintage members are, our anniversaries are. So I looked at those who are, by the way, if you haven't renewed and you know you should renew, please renew. Thank you very much. That's the end of that commercial. But we have a lot of folks who are renewal dates January 1st and thereabouts. So, all right. Other comments? Questions? All right, well, we'll try to do this more often. Oh, Ruth is up. I'll put this in here too. Ruth said, we are looking for committee volunteers for the fall. So if you would like to potentially participate in that, give Ruth an email, ring-a-ding, is rborger@ufl.edu. That group is beginning that process of meeting to identify what the topic and what the theme will be for 2023.
Hey, Ricky,
Yes, Sherry.
one thing that I remember coming up in the listening session that I participated in, and I didn't say it like this, but someone else who was on said, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have given this up. And those of us who are of a certain vintage will remember when we had state representatives.
Mhm.
And I remember that I wasn't thinking about the state reps, but what I had brought up in that listening session is because I was on the conference planning committee for 2022, I felt kind of a personal urge to connect with people here in Iowa. And so I looked up, found out who all is members, sent them a message about workshop proposals and going down there and who's going. And because I kind of took it upon myself, we haven't had anybody at a state level for so long, and our membership is quite drastically different from what it used to be. And I think that personal touch could also be connected somehow if we were able to go back to something like those state reps.
Okay. All right, I'll put that down. Thank you very much. All right. Again, this is time if you were not able to participate in any of the listening sessions, or like Sherry wanted to reiterate a point. We're definitely able to do that now. Okay. All right. If not, going once, going twice. All right. Just want to thank all of you for taking about 45 minutes of your day with me during either lunch or almost lunch, depending on what time zone that you're in. We hope to do this, maybe do this more often with the officers coming up as well. So we encourage everyone to participate as Chris was mentioning before with the webinars, with interactivity like what we're doing here, the coffee chats, the listening sessions, and happy hours or what have you, because again, this is our organization. So let's make the best of it as we possibly can by networking and helping each other grow as professionals in agriculture, natural resources, and life and human sciences. So with that, I hope to see everybody here on this call in June for sure. And if not between now and then, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please do reach out to me if you have any questions about what we talked about today or any ideas that come up along the way. And I also wanted to have unabashed plug too for the upcoming, not this one because it's too late, but the next ACE Edge newsletter. We've instituted a way to try to get more of our own members to know more about our membership. So we call them ACE Happenings. So please enter information about yourself when you see the email come out about, hey, we need to hear about you, or about people within your organization who are ACE members, so that we can have a little snippet of information to share things that you've won, things that you're doing. So please do go to the Qualtrics site when you see that email and that link there. We'd love to hear what's going on. And because of that, we want to be able to share that with others in ACE as well. So with that, as the final word, thank you all for your kind words about organizing this. I just want to thank you as members. It's been great this last several months as ACE president. Looking forward to the next several months as well. But please do know I'm approachable and happy to hear what you have to say, your ideas. We'll try to do what we can do to make as many of them come to fruition that we can within our limitations also as an organization, but also try to do what we can to enhance and improve what we do. Thank you all for a great day, for a great time together. We'll see you soon. Bye.